Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Jeff.
Jay Donovan.
Aaron.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. And me, I'm Todd Novak. How are you guys doing? Okay, so we were just discussing Aaron's as we came on here, and the company we work for just bestowed upon us some rad Marshall headphones, gratis, and
free.
He got the brown ones, which is kind of weird.
We all had a choice between the black ones, the white ones, or the brown ones, and so why I chose the brown. I figured that everybody was going to go black or white. And I'm like, got to run against the grain. And honestly, it's probably more...
The Michael Jackson joke.
It's more of a... I went with that for more of a vintage...
To be clear, I'm talking about the song.
I'm really uncomfortable.
The actual song.
We've done it.
Okay, so yeah, you got the brown ones.
Yeah.
And they kind of look like an office chair. Brown.
Well, that's what I dig about it. There's a 70s vibe
or
to
catcher's mitt.
Catcher's mitt.
But the headphones themselves are pretty wicked cool.
Yeah, they're there's a good bass response to it, which I normally am not happy with in a lot of headphones, and even I'm going to say
you don't like the bass response,
right?
Or it's not good enough.
And these they're really good. I think
or they get too boomy. I find it like a lot of cans get too boomy.
Yeah, that's just it. They'll get boomy, but this is a good. I don't know. It's just a good. I don't know. I just dig the sound.
So when I picked black...
Yeah, why?
Because Marshalls are black.
Not all of them.
Why? That's why I was looking to see if there is such thing as a brown Marshall that I've never seen in person, but they do have brown.
They had red ones.
Well, yeah.
They gotta have brown ones.
You would think, but I've never seen a brown one in real life.
They had the Lemmy one a while back, too. I don't know if those are actually the Lemmy ones that you're wearing, but, the Lemmy headphones were like all mid-range. And so you said these have a lot of bass response?
I wouldn't say a lot of bass. It's just like perfect. It's perfectly in between the low end of the spectrum and starting again to the low mids. I don't know. I find it to be a very balanced response.
I was really impressed with the sound on them.
Yeah.
They were so they got the detachable cord.
Yep.
They also have a phone in it, or the phone microphone. So you're able to do that. They're not over the ear; they're on ear.
Yes.
Super nice padding, totally adjustable. Like they're really, I was impressed by them greatly. But then I plugged them in, and I was even more impressed. One thing that I noticed, so I used them for two things. I was watching a lot of YouTube, and it was really interesting watching one show, and when they were the room mic that they were capturing the sound on, which was an ambient mic, when they cut to what was being plugged in, it shifted. So like it shifted in my head. The music went to the back, and their actual voices went to the front. I'm not sure. I'm obviously they must have set it up that way, but the fact that the headphones were actually able to discern that was pretty cool. And really good range. So then after that, I plugged them into my Mac and was practicing, and the sound on those things was like, whoa, huge, really nice range. Because right now I'm using kind of over the ear cans, and they kind of get a little like boomy in there.
Yeah.
So these are cool.
So these are the major two?
Yeah, these are the major two.
Brown.
Major 2 brown Marshall headphones.
Yep, $119.
Good deal.
U.S. American.
Oh, I didn't know it was
dollars.
that level. I thought it was the cheaper level.
No.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah.
First things first. Let's talk about what happened new for us this week. Anything in our music worlds.
I think Jeff should start. Tell the good people what's new in your world.
Yeah, there's a new pedal that appeared at my door.
Really?
Mr.
Pedal
Novak.
Gremlin brought it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got the bug because you were hyping up the idea of pedals. I'm like, I should try a pedal.
Wait, what do you mean like a pedal? Like you've used pedals before? To be clear,
no,
this is not your first rodeo on guitar or pedals or gear.
Pedal-wise, limited. I had some delays and some chorus flange, but I've never had an overdrive distortion pedal.
Oh, that's interesting. So what have you
I played
used
through
for...
some, but I've never used. I just used the amp distortion.
Oh, okay.
So, I wanted something. So I have a old crate vintage 50, which is not known at all for its distorted tone. So it's
loud.
It's known for its clean channel, which is supposed to be decent. So like, do I really want to buy another amp at this point? Because I've been using amp sims for so long, and do I really want to spend money on an amp at this point? And I'm like, well, I have a kick-ass,
you can't say that
50-watt.
You said say louder.
Kick-ass 50-watt. Well, I shouldn't say kick-ass. A decent 50-watt clean amp. I'm like, I'm gonna play with overdrive pedals.
What are you doing?
I don't know. You're playing like Jenga with the bottle or something, right? Like
Sorry.
What do you think?
Yeah. So I got a JHS Andy Timmons distortion pedal.
Ooh.
Which was the Charlie Brown derivative. So he came out with his own signature model. I just happened upon it through the pedal guys, and I started watching him play, and I'm like, wow, I really love his sound. He's got great sound. And he basically said he uses a Mesa Stiletto amp, and he's like, I don't even need that anymore because I get all my sound out of this pedal. A lot of my sound comes from this pedal. I'm like, that's intriguing. I'm going to try that. So,
which pedal is it?
The Andy Timmons.
Yep.
Right there.
This one right here.
Yeah.
It's red.
Wow. Their website looks like a candy store.
Yes, a lot of
There's
candy.
like colors. Every pedal, many colored pedals. They look cool.
So what drove you to that
Shiny.
actual pedal? Get
Shiny.
no overdrive joke intended.
Yeah, I mean, it was the reviews from those guys. So I watched a couple of their things. They featured the Angry Charlie pedal.
Right.
And then, like I said, I saw Andy Timmons, and he played through it, and I watched a bunch of his videos, and it's like, this cat's pretty sweet tone.
So you liked it better than the Angry Charlie?
It just had...
The Angry Charlie's got it has a lot of hype around it right now.
They're
for
very
a
much the
while
same. You can watch some of the videos, and they describe the difference, but basically it has a switch on there, which you can set it to like a... they call it headroom. So there's like super headroom and then low headroom, and you get like a super saturated distortion sound at the click of the switch. So it's I've only messed around with it for a day now, so it's pretty cool.
How much did that cost you?
What is that price on that guy? $199.
That's the Angry Charlie.
Oh, that's Angry Charlie. $219, I think, is what they were selling it for.
$219.
Is that too much for a pedal? Is that out of the range for
Is that we need to have that sampled so that anytime we're just gonna point at you.
I don't know.
I could return it. Sweetwater 30-day return policy.
Wow.
So if it sucked, I just send it back.
These are handmade, though, right? Or are they? What's the deal?
I don't think they're handmade.
What's it say on their site? It says, I think it says handmade, but
I don't know.
see.
I didn't see anything about handmade specifically. They're not point-to-point wired. They are boards. So I don't think they're handmade.
Yeah. Well, I mean, somebody's making them probably by hand, but I mean,
there's a hand
they've
making
grown
them in some way.
a lot.
They plant seeds, and the petals grow from the ground, and they harvest them. Oh boy!
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. I hope you get some awesome tones out of that.
Yeah, so you should.
Are you gonna mod it at all?
You should borrow it and see what you think.
I will.
Since you're in distortion overdrive mode too, so
Yeah, it says that it's looking for the classic British gain of the JCM 800. That's kind of like the actual tone.
pretty much captures it. So, which is pretty amazing anymore in pedals these days, which they can actually get a amp sound out of a small box these days, which is crazy.
Yeah, those are made in
Kansas City.
Kansas City, Missouri,
Or Kansas.
or Kansas.
Yeah. it's-
We don't know. How do we know?
Kansas City. I think so, but yeah, they are
Grandview,
built by
Missouri.
hand.
Missouri.
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 Yeah, I was right.
Missouri.
I was right.
Let's be proper.
Cool. All right. That sounds like a fun thing to land at your doorstep. Jay, anything for you?
Anything new going on? I'm still trying to sell a Rhodes piano. That's the only thing new.
Meow.
Yeah, and it's a great one.
Can you get
Detail?
sexy on it?
Let me get sexy on it. And someone actually, a Craigslist person said that in their email. to
Really?
me.
What?
Like, can you make sexy on it?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a 1978.
Does it have a synthesizer?
That was you. You punked me in the middle of this podcast.
Yeah.
I've been having you.
Okay, I have been slow
I'm
to
so happy
respond.
right now.
I've been slow to respond because the message said, "I want to come to your house and come inside of your."
Hold on.
Like, it said, "I want to come to your house and like see it and go inside of your house and like." You know, it sounded a little weird, and I was like, "Well,"
And you're like,
I've been
is
dragging
Alex
my
a
feet."
man or a woman? Am I okay with this? I deliberately chose.
That was you.
I went to the internets and I said, popular, ambiguous, or popular unisex name, and the first one that came up was Alex. I'm like, cool, that's it. That's so great. I've been working on this for like a week and a half.
I've been like taking 2 days to respond. Holy, okay.
I got a high five for that one.
In all, I am realistically still trying to sell this Rhodes.
This part is true.
And it is a great Rhodes.
Yeah.
And now I feel a lot better that no one is stalking me and trying to enter my home and
Other than
see my
Todd.
Oh man,
Rhodes.
I'm sweating.
Holy. Oh my god.
Yeah, I had my story concocted, and I meant to create a new email address so I could also get in on that action, but cat's out of the bag. So, but the question was going to involve tuning.
Tuning
Yeah,
of
we
Rhodes.
were eating at Dirty Frank's, which is a hot dog place, not a strip club. And I mean, if it was, everybody's up to their own thing. That's fine. Yeah. But we were sitting there. Okay, now how can we do it so we're not? It's got to be plausible.
It freaks me out, man.
Yeah,
It
like
freaked me out a
does
little
it
bit.
have a synthesizer? Like someone looking at it would go like, that looks like a synthesizer. That's not a piano.
What did I respond? I think I said, "Alex, this is an electric piano." Wait, I'm gonna look it up while you guys.
It was hilarious, super
Oh
fun.
God.
Anyway, so you're still trying to sell that. Good luck.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful 78 Rhodes 73 stage, and it is gorgeous. It just takes up a lot of space.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of space right now, and I want to give it on to the rest of the world. So
Yeah.
And you can make sexy on it.
and you can. Oh, all right, you're up next.
The fact that you didn't even pick up on that till like the third or
I was
fourth,
like, that's
like,
fine.
know,
I'm sure
he's-
somebody said just like email.
Laying it on thick with the clues. That's wonderful.
Oh man, so satisfying. Aaron, what do you have going on?
Well, it's funny because this has been a very long day for me. It's 6:30 at night when we're here talking, but I was awake at 3:30 in the morning. I just woke up and I was up for the day. So headed down into my basement, and there was a song that I wrote a couple years ago, just the music for, and so I had recorded it a few years ago in GarageBand, but recently I purchased Logic and just wanted to have more control. So that's why I switched over, especially in the mix. So I tracked that song, I don't know, maybe a week and a half ago. But so since I had the time, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to mix. So I got down and started mixing and trying to really get a good guitar tone, which some of the plugins are okay, but it's I don't know. I feel like I need.
You're still like cracking into this thing though, right?
Yeah. But
Have you
I
had
mean,
Logic before?
years ago.
Okay.
But now since it's a lot more like GarageBand. It's just like it's now more like GarageBand on steroids. A lot of things translate over, so including those guitar tones. So yeah, while I am sort of cracking it open. A lot of the guitar presets and plugins are very much like GarageBand. So
yeah, we could talk about plugins for hours.
That's another show.
Yeah.
Well, this is
I
also
love
a little
talking about plugins.
Foreshadowing for later in this show that
Yeah,
I've said too much.
No,
okay.
I've said too much.
Easy killer.
Can I read our email? Can I come back to our email exchange? I found the email exchange, and I just want to read this just so you know what was going through my mind. I posted on Craigslist a 1978 Rhodes Mark I 73 stage piano for sale, and I get an email that says, "This looks delish," from 384 key. "This looks delish. Is it sturdy enough to get sexiness on it? I am very desiring of this if it's still available. Meow." To which I responded, "It's in really good shape." And then the next email said, "Oh, nicey nice. Also, does it have synthesizer? I would like to come to your house and have some listens. I have cash. Alex." To which I responded, "Alex, when do you want to schedule time to look at this? I'm not sure what you mean by synthesizer." And then that was the end of our communication until tonight when I found out I was punked.
So great.
Yes, very
So
good.
what type of dialect
man.
were you putting on that? Was it like a half English?
I don't know. It was just sort of.
Oh, weird.
I don't. I was trying to leave it as open ended as possible.
Very ambiguous, just like the name Alex.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so this week, I recently just got a Vox AC 15C1, and I love it, but the top, the control panel it's all black. The older ones, they've had some different colors in the past. There's someone walking on our roof right now.
No, what's going on.
So it's all black, and the controls are. The Vox controls are just really different than like a Fender or a Marshall. They're a little bit more interpretive on how you handle and because of that, and also because there's chicken head knobs. So the chicken heads, you guys are familiar with the chicken heads, got a
beak.
Got pointy in the front and kind of square in the back, and they're long, but they're super smooth, and a little too fast. So if you bump it, they're not loose. I mean, it feels very sturdy, but they're just incredibly smooth to the touch. So like if you just bump it a little bit, you're gonna, the dial's gonna go like 2 numbers over. And they're black, so black knobs on a black dial, and it's set in the back too. So if I'm on stage,
It's also on an angle, right?
well, I have it on an angle because it's on a stand. So I've got a stand purchase.
But even the plate. Oh no, the plate looks.
the plate's flat.
Yeah.
AC, the 15 watt? Is that
Yeah,
what you said?
yeah. And so I just realized, I'm like, this isn't a super good user experience right now. So I went to the Amazons and ordered some white chicken heads. Oh. Now I had the option of going white or antique cream. And I think that like my gut instinct, like right off the bat, I was like, oh, you got to get cream because it's like, it's an older style.
That's exactly what I had.
But I'm a little bit, our drummers called me OCD in the past. I don't believe I'm OCD, but I just like things to be
particular.
I'm particular about things. I'm particular. So it actually has white, like bright white piping around the grill. So I said, nope, I'm going to match it to the bright white. And as soon as I put them on, I was like, holy mackerel, I can actually see everything, even in the dark corner where I have the actual amp. So it's tilted back a little bit, so the amp is facing up, so it's projecting towards me. And I can still absolutely see the knobs really easily. So that cost all of like $6. And it was fun. I don't like leaving things the way they are. I tend to, for better or for worse, change them up.
Yeah, you got to put your thumbprint on it.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what is new for me.
So how much experimentation or sounds or what kind of sound are you trying to get out of that thing?
The AC-15, I'm trying to get if you buy an AC-15 or any of the AC series, you're not, what sound you're going to get. So, I mean, it's a little bit thicker in the middle. Mm-hmm. It's not as sharp, or I think the Fenders can sound kind of hollow. They don't have the bottom end like a Marshall. So actually, I typically play pretty straight ahead rock. I guess you could think like Billy Duffy or some the like of that, and then also do a lot of stuff for we got the Clash tribute band, and so I need something that has got some weight to it, but isn't going to get lost on stage and just have a big giant bottom end. Like I would never run a Marshall for the kind of stuff I play, and Fender is just it's too bright. I need a little bit more muscle, and it's a really nice warm tone, yeah.
So of your arsenal, is there, or I should say guitar arsenal, is there...
Guitarsenal? That's a thing. I just made that.
Yeah, we trademarked it just now. Mm-hmm. So of your guitarsenal, is there one that pairs very well?
Say it 3 times, Candyman shows up.
Is there one that pairs particularly well with the sound of the Vox?
Well, that's what I was really surprised about. Having never owned a Vox before, the interpretive knobs on it, because it's not your straight channel and channel 1 doesn't have like the classic EQ. It doesn't have a bass, a mid, and a treble. It's got a mid cut, and
interesting.
And that is basically how you dial in your sound. The one that I have also has a top boost channel, which does have the EQ on it, so you kind of get like almost 2 amps in one, which is really cool. But I mean, they all sound like so different. Yeah. I mean, it's really great. They each one sounds like the guitar's supposed to sound, and that's the way I think. So the difference between, like, if I plug my Sheraton or my Tele or the Tele with the P90s on it into a Fender, it kind of all sounds like a Fender.
Yeah.
And I plug all 3 into, or any of the other ones into the Vox, and they all have gained their own character, which I'm really happy with it.
So can you reach your level of distortion on that? Does it get pretty drivey?
Well, so it doesn't actually have like a distortion channel.
Yeah.
Which I didn't want that. I wanted like pure clean sound. What the cool thing is that the top boost, so it's got a master volume, and then it's got a channel 1 volume, and then it also has a top boost volume. So if you have your master volume low, you can push your channel 1 volume way high, and you're essentially pushing the amp.
Right.
So it sounds like an overdriven amp. Now, granted, it's not like like if you plugged in an overdrive pedal. That said, when I did that halfway, so I pushed the amp a little bit, because I mean, if you have your channel 1 volume up, and then you start to push up on your master channel, it gets way loud, right? Which is cool if you're on stage, right. But if you're practicing in the house, it's you want to keep it to a minimum. So to help that out, and if you spike the channel volume but keep the master volume down, it feels like a little dry. It almost gets a little fizzy. So to help that out, that's when I kick in the overdrive pedal, and I get like the 2 layers of it, and it's it's so nice, super nice.
Yeah, finding the right setting to get the beautiful saturation of the amp.
Yeah,
is pretty damn loud.
Yeah.
So even at 15 watts, doesn't sound like a lot, but that's
No, it isn't. I mean, I'm not even like exaggerating at all. I keep the master volume at 1 in the house.
Nice.
And then I push the channel volumes up, and if I even once I do that, if I push the master volume to 2, it's like, whoa, I'm going to get the neighbors climbing all over me. So
yeah,
really stoked on it. Anyhow, enough about me and my Vox right now. More to come on that.
I'm
I think
intrigued.
we're going to dive into like, everybody's different amps
Gear,
of choice.
our gear
And
setup.
oh yeah, we got loads. We're just starting. We just
have to buy
hatched.
more gear over
We have
there.
just hatched.
you sold all your gear. You're gonna have to buy more gear now.
Am I?
Yes, you are. It's mandatory.
Okay.
We've got a budget. No, we have no budget. So, okay. Question for this episode, the big one is, what are you jonesing for right now? We'll hit this many more times, but right now, right this like moment, this magic moment. Sorry, what are you jonesing for?
I'll chime in.
Yeah.
Again, going to this basement of mine. So
This
recently,
is sounding creepy when you put it like that.
I know. And the basement.
Do you wear a robe?
Sounds of the land basement.
Yeah.
The basement is a little creepy at this point. So it's a brand newly built house. So it's an unfinished basement. So my corner of the house is just bad acoustically. So I've been really jonesing for just acoustic treatments to get, I don't know, something needs deadened.
Yes.
Like some
Reverb
foam
galore
tiles and
going on.
stuff?
Well, I mean,
Or
it's
some
like
panels, like dropped panels?
all of the above. I mean, if I had the cash,
Are you gonna build this little room
Eventually.
in a right way?
eventually, I mean, that's
Are you gonna
that's
do
sort of
that?
the plan. I mean, honestly, it's like I want to do soundproofing right and actually get a soundproofed room in my basement.
So wait, are you trying to clarify? Are we trying to soundproof, or are we trying to control
Right now, it's just control.
the sound? So you're looking to dampen any like wall echoes
yeah.
or any ringing or
yeah.
anything like that.
Yep.
So that obviously big difference between that and like soundproofing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and yeah. So when my concrete in the basement is fully dry, which I was told takes.
Did
at
you build a
least
bunker?
year.
What?
No. The builder said that, you really shouldn't finish this basement for at least a year,
yeah,
just to
true.
let the concrete
Concrete dry.
You gotta let that concrete die. Tell you what.
So yeah, I mean, eventually I'll get to finishing that level and then
Right.
have my own space because the wife and kids take up the rest. I love them, by the way. They're great.
The space?
The
The
great
spaces?
No, my great people.
Oh.
at home, but Daddy needs a little time to himself now again. So that's the big one. And
That
then-
also sounds
So short-term solution. There's a couple ways you can handle that.
Tom Waits song about that. Little Tom.
okay. Yes, drop your wisdom on us.
Yeah,
Hefe.
so-
Jeff's really into this
I-
type of stuff.
Bad
I know,
habit
you
of
lit up.
reading too much material about this. But short-term,
Yeah.
of course, is you could go to Home Depot.
I've heard of it.
Yes.
It's a story.
You can buy some, I forgot the name of this now. I keep wanting to say Rolex. It's not Rolex. It's the other.
It's not
Don't
gonna-
buy a Rolex at
It's
Home
not
Depot.
Rolex. I have to get the brand name again, but it's basically thicker fiberglass material.
Tilex.
Not Tilex. It's thicker than pink fiberglass, thinner than the Owens Corning, which the
That's a very
705
that's
panels,
good stuff. That
which is
that
what
one's Corning stuff.
you're supposed to use, but it's hard to find, hard to get, expensive. So Roxul, there it is. So you can go there and get Roxul and build.
Is that the thin concrete board
No.
that you put
no,
tile on the
it's,
back?
it's
that's,
thick,
backer board
dense
or hardy
paper
Oh.
fiberglass.
Oh,
So you can buy some sheets of that or you actually buy it in a bag.
What's
and
its
you
What's its
build-
primary use? Like
It's sound insulation.
Oh, sound insulation.
Sound and warmth insulation.
Okay.
Like regular fiberglass.
All
It's
right.
just a more
So you can sweat it off to the oldies.
it's more acoustic version that they have of it. So build some panels, meaning basically build something to hold it.
Like a frame?
Like a frame, wrap some fabric around it,
Right.
make them portable somehow so you can just move them around.
Oh, that's a great
You
idea.
just surround yourself with them, and that
So,
will eliminate
Envelop myself.
So kind of
in-
all your reverberation issues. Not all of them, but it will help a lot with the reverberation.
Yeah, and the other thing I kind of want to get in, along
I'm
that,
going to do that. That's a great idea.
along that vein is you can get those mic stand versions. So if you're recording vocals, you can get a
Yeah.
little wraparound.
I would opt for the bigger.
Well,
version.
no.
Yeah,
But any sound control I can do in the short term would be awesome.
I've seen so many Craigslist ads because I'm totally addicted.
Don't call me
about you can get I've got 15 or 20 square foot tiles with the angles and all that business, pick them up for like $30 for the whole pile or something like that. The only thing is then you got to attach them somehow,
Yeah.
which can be problematic. I like Jeff's solve for that, especially if you're not dry, because then what you can do after that, you could probably hang them proper, like from the ceiling or from the wall, so that they're off of the wall, which actually is a better sound reducer or reverberation reducer, however you want to call that. I'm sure all the audiophiles are just crawling in their grave right now.
You shouldn't do that. Don't listen to him.
That's cool. That's a good idea. I like that.
So, and then, so I alluded to this other thing that I'm jonesing for.
Wait,
you only get one.
you get one thing to Jones.
No,
you got a Jones. We got 4 Jonesings
One
going
Jonesy.
I'll make this one quick then.
on. Okay, there's no rules in rock and roll. Go for it.
Amplitude 4.
No, don't do it.
Yes.
No.
I
No.
hinted
Wait,
earlier
Amplitude.
No.
That,
Is it a program plug-in?
yeah, plugin.
Don't
So
do it.
it's the IK Multimedia.
No.
Jeff says no, but
Yeah,
do it.
but see,
ears
he does a lot of
Tinkering.
computer plugging in. I mean, not computer plugging in, but plugins on his on computer.
Well, see, he's making this opinion known without actually using it. So,
I've demoed it.
well, that's your problem. You have to buy it.
Okay, so
we
tell
don't.
us why
So-
you want to do this so
No,
badly.
because, I mean, ultimately, I do want to build my bank of plugins, to have all kinds of different guitar tones I can dial in. I mean, because that is my primary source of amplification, since I have sold all my music equipment and amps outside of my guitars. And
So
really-
to be clear, you're selling your, like, I guess you could, for lack of better terms, your analog equipment,
Yes.
stage style equipment,
Yes.
to opt for home recording equipment.
yes,
Gotcha.
that's my shtick.
Gotcha. So you want Amplitude? Is it expensive?
There's different variations of
That's
it.
where they
but-
get you.
Yeah.
Well, you are right, because IK Multimedia has the custom shop
Yes.
where you can download individual Fender.
I've used
or
it. I think it's great. I think Jeff's wrong.
That's possible.
thanks, Jay.
We're 2-1 here.
2-1.
Yeah, so
I haven't used it.
They have an HD. Do you have the HD connector for it? You're talking about the iRig?
That's
And-
No, no,
different. That's a
that's-
different.
That
that-
works with it. You can use.
you
the,
could.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but he's talking about using it in.
There's a VST on your software, not as a.
The sounds are good. Don't listen.
Yeah,
They're all right. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying for the money, S
Well-
gears. I'd go S gear, Scuffman S gear.
well, I know you love to scuff them,
Yeah.
but I got to start somewhere. And that's not to say that I'm not ever going to get into the scuff them.
But
I
they're
mean-
about the same price,
Well, so be it.
right?
Well, yeah. So in my last band recorded our album, I believe I just used my direct tone. I didn't do the whole. You're in a studio. We're gonna mic your cab.
That's free?
No.
That's what
The
Jeff's
Minister
saying.
of Information just looked it up, and I saw the word free.
They just came out with
No,
a new
the-
version.
Yeah, the new
Three top VST plugins. They have some, right? Some that are free and then some that aren't. Is that the deal?
Yeah, and really that's how they sell you is like, oh, Custom Shop is free. Yeah, Custom Shop is free, but the individual modules that you download cost
Ooh,
money. That's
strike.
Where, yeah, that's where they
Get right.
hook, line, and sinker. So
Full point cookie.
He was just,
I win.
like a
I
What was the old
wrestling-
video? What was the old video? Full point.
I
Again.
know.
It's $119.
So
S gear is cheaper than that.
how much is S gear?
I think it's $99.
99 whole 99?
Whole 99.
So you're saving what, like $20?
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about performance too, not just money.
This is riveting. Jay, what do you?
Yeah.
What do you?
What am I jonesing
We're gonna
for?
fight over this.
Yeah,
I need an overdrive pedal. I need like overdrive or
Oh,
bass overdrive though.
yeah for a bass. Or what I've used before in the past, I've used like a fuzz sometimes. Like I had a Savtech Big Muff
Ooh,
that was a guitar pedal, but I would
Yeah.
use it on bass, and it was really awesome.
so why not do that again?
Because I don't have it, but I don't know if that's quite. It was really dirty. It was like super dirty, actually. And
Dirty baby.
Did it kill your
Dirty.
low frequencies?
No, a little bit.
Okay.
So that's why I need something. And I also used something called a Big Dog, which was a pedal. My friend, who's a
Dog?
ace guitarist up in Ann Arbor. This guy named Alex Anist owns this company called Phoenix Custom Electronics, and he makes pedals. He does make hand.
We should get him in here,
We
or have him dial in.
he's the master.
Cool.
He anyway, he made me one called the Big Dog, and I told him, I was like, I want it to be like a fuzz, and I want it to have a button that I press, and when I press that button, it has to have a light, and I want something insane to happen. That was my only, that's what I told
That's
him.
awesome.
He's like, okay, and like, don't tell me what happens, but
What kind of light
Greatest
did it
pedal
have?
description ever.
it was a red light. And it had
Okay, red
it
light.
came and had this picture of a dog on it, and it was called the Big Dog. And Big Dog was the name of a van I used to have, a 84 Ford conversion van.
This is getting great. I love this.
Blue
story.
too.
Yes.
So he made it blue, and he made it like the van. And so anyway, he made me this pedal, and sure enough, I don't know what it had like a lot of knobs on the side, and I had a little switch I could switch, and it would go and be
Like an
painful.
Ottawa or something.
No, it would just be like
Like a bit crusher.
Yeah, like or so
You're
much.
gonna make us
like,
guess
it was
all
just
the
like
pedals out there till we hit
self-destruction.
it.
It was like just destroying itself.
A bit crushing Ottawa flange.
It wasn't an Ottawa. It was just madness.
That's awesome.
But it doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore. It, like
Should be called a Mad Dog then.
should be the
2020.
Mad Dog.
That's great. Tell him to build you a Mad Dog again.
All right.
Oh.
PhoenixCustomElectronics.com. He still makes some. I don't know if his website's still up, but he still makes pedals.
Phoenix as in the city
Phoenix
or like
is
the
in
bird?
like the bird that
Caw.
it rises really
I
fast.
don't know if that's
I don't
how
think
Phoenix-
Phoenix is
I
doing.
think they probably it's probably a lot scarier than that.
So we were having this discussion the other day.
So I need a pedal. So
Royal Blood, right? You've heard of those guys?
God,
Maybe.
you're really on a royal
Shut
blood kick.
Shut
I
up.
don't
We're
know.
going to fight again.
All right,
I don't know why you got to be
I can't
against
wait.
me.
This is gonna be good.
He's actually turning a little bit red.
I know.
Royal Blood.
He's mad. He's legitimately mad.
So it's a bass player and a guitar player.
Might be the vodka.
Sorry, bass player and a drummer, right? And the bass player has a guitar tone and a bass tone at the same time. So
he
I looked,
splits it kind of like.
I looked into his setup the other day because I was like super curious about this. Like, how is he getting that sound? Because I watched the video. On stage, he has like 7 amps. Like, there's a Marshall, there's a Fender, there's a whole bass rig, and like all this crazy stuff out there. So it was amazing how when he was playing, he's getting guitar tone and bass tone at the same time.
That's cool.
It's not the first to do it, as I found out,
But he's just using just a
It's like
bass. He's
unison.
using a bass.
he's using a bass.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Guitar. So like
Look what,
it might not be
try
the
to find
same-
out what his
same
what
tone
he's
you're
doing.
looking for, but
Well, yeah, that's what I need. Something.
Is it when you're saying he's getting a guitar tone? Like, are you
He's-
saying like just a higher frequency?
Well, it's like he's splitting the signal somehow.
he is
Yeah.
splitting the
Didn't
signal.
Jack White maybe did some of that.
But he's
Or
playing.
maybe
distorted guitar at the same time he's playing bass.
Okay.
So he's got that, he's actually...
So it's not an octave thing.
No.
He used an octave with it.
It sounds like it at certain points of the performance.
He does use an octave pedal with it as well.
Aha.
He does use a splitter, but he can basically... He also has a on and off button, so he can turn off the bass if he wants. And just have the guitar tone playing, and then he can hit the button, have the bass back in the mix with the guitar.
Right.
And if you listen to the song, it's wide, it's thick, and you're like, holy shit, they got a guitar player in that band, and
That's cool.
You can't say that.
You can. He did.
Are we allowed to cuss?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay.
What about
What about me?
what about you?
You're checking your phone a lot.
No, it's just looking at the
And
time.
your Apple Watch. And you're just checking the time. That's
just
good.
making-
No, that's
keeping
good.
us on,
I appreciate
task.
that. Yeah,
Gotta
because
keep
we don't
us
want
on-
to. Because then we don't want to incur extra charges. I don't know. Whatever.
Is that that?
Okay, so
That's the weirdest looking video.
for me, this is gonna sound weird
I love
based
it.
on what I said.
I love it.
Earlier. I really want a vibe pedal. So I've been
what
on
pedal?
a vibe pedal. So I've been checking out on reverb.com. There's two that I'm looking at. One is a Vibe-O-Verb by Keeley. But based on what I've seen from the actual reviews and demos and stuff, there's one called Soul Vibe, which I'm not playing soul music. And it's one of these pedals. It's like, okay, if someone says, oh, you can have a Keeley, blah, 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 or a BBE Soul Vibe, everybody's going to gravitate towards a Keeley just right off because of the name, I think. But the Soul Vibe has these really great tones that come out of it. And it's a super simple pedal. It doesn't look especially cool or anything. It's like sort of maroon colored with two white knobs. I mean, it's not an attractive pedal. But
Can you describe the sound of vibe pedal for me?
Yeah, I'm curious too.
yeah, it's kind of like
Is it like a cab emulator?
it has qualities of a phaser. It has qualities of a reverb and a delay, and it has it's kind of its own thing. And I never would have been looking at a vibe pedal. Like I don't think I ever would look for one. They were used a lot in the late 60s and early 70s, I think, quite a bit. And typically on more soul-oriented music. However, the only reason I'm looking at this is because what I found is when I'm using GarageBand, especially if I'm playing like some like big open like Brit rock kind of stuff. I love Brit rock. And if I'm doing something like that, that gives me that extra layer of texture. It's not just swim, and it isn't just delay, and it isn't just reverb, and it isn't just phaser, and it's like it takes the best of each of those and just adds color to the sound that doesn't make you feel like oh wow, you've got a vibe pedal on. I mean, you certainly can make it sound like that. You can turn it on to where it's like it's vibing your brains out, but I just want it for like
That
just
sounds
that
like
little
that. That
extra
sounds right.
je ne sais quoi, so to speak.
So in a recording environment like GarageBand,
Yeah.
does it like spread the stereo field, or is it just pretty mono type of effect?
That's a good question, and I don't feel like it's giving me like a stereo pan.
Right.
So I wouldn't say that it's overwhelmingly, and I'm not setting up my tracks like special stereo tracks or anything like that. It gives a little bit more environment and a little bit more like mystery to the actual tone. Not mystery like
What's he
full blown
playing?
psychedelia
Right,
or
right.
like something like that, but just like it it gives a little extra thumbprint to your sound. Now, in GarageBand, the one that I end up using quite a bit is I think it's just called the Vibe.
Yeah, it's like but
it looks like a Mooger Fluger.
I don't know what
that's a whole other pedal.
But in GarageBand it's that multicolor, like this.
Yeah.
It looks psychedelic, right?
No.
Oh,
that's why I was saying it looks like it's kind of like a Mooger Fluger, where it's it has like a wood. It's got wood. What am I trying to say?
It's got wood.
It's got wood.
Cool.
It's got like wood panel sides on it, and kind of like, I mean, it looks like a Mooger Fluger pedal, but I know that a Mooger Fluger can kind of make those sounds. It's not as it's way more complex than just a vibe sound, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they're modeling it off of a Mooger Fluger. That said, I don't want to drop $300 on a to get just like a little bit of extra atmosphere. And so what I found is like this Soul Vibe pedal, I think, can get me there.
So they connect Univibe or the Vibe pedal with David Gilmour tone.
Okay, yeah.
So that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
A little bit of
but I'm not pushing it into like big giant atmospheric, like massive delay and chorus. It's not that at all. On a Mooger Fluger, you can get those. You've got. I mean, there's different kinds of Mooger Flugers, but you can get a lot of those kind of tones. I don't know. It's just it's kind of hard to describe. You hear it and you're like, that's a sound. I want that sound.
We're not judging you.
Yeah, I think you're not.
Some of us are.
Stop being so defensive, man. God.
Anyways, but the cool thing is, again, it's not $300. It's $50 on Reverb. I think brand new they're probably like $89 or something like that. But another one is a Black Cat Vibe, but that's like $300.
Ooh.
So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not into doing that. If it was something I was using like as a signature sound,
Right.
But I would likely have it on quite a bit because it's just got that thing. Just got that little extra bits.
You ain't got a thing unless you got
Right.
thing.
Jeff, what do you want?
Just
What are you
don't-
jonesing?
Stop.
Jeff, what are you jonesing for?
Didn't I already go?
Did you?
I don't know. Did I?
No, you didn't.
No.
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 No, I forgot completely what I was jonesing for.
Amplitude 4.
I don't think that was it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it
No.
was.
Hurry, because we got to get to our top 4.
Pause.
You can't pause. You got to go.
I forgot.
Worthless.
We
All
covered
right.
it.
Yeah,
It'll
who
come
did?
back. We'll pick it up on the
Yeah.
next one.
Okay.
I want
Yeah.
that
We're gonna do
pedal,
this
so-
many times again. Yeah. You kind of just got what you jonesed
kinda
for,
just
so that's all right.
got jonesed.
Okay. So, we came up with a segment that we're pretty excited about called Top 4, which is
Yeah.
not really new if you think about things, but our top 4s are going to change every week, which again is not new in the world of top anything, but it's new for us. So our top 4 this week is, for our first top 4, our inaugural top 4. Inaugural. Rural juror. Anyways, we're going to go around and we're each going to tell each other what our top star guitar is. Okay? So think of the guitar that like defines the the star you're thinking of, or is just a definitive guitar like that. I know that one, that right there.
Jay and I are totally going to pick the same
Oh boy.
You are?
Oh, wait,
Yeah, I
you
don't
saw
know.
my list?
thing. I saw your list.
I don't know. Is that? Well, that's a good thing, right?
We
Well,
haven't
it's-
discussed this beforehand, so this is all surprising to everyone.
All right.
Controversy.
Okay, so
Well, I get to go first.
Yeah, you,
No,
Jay, you
Oh
go
yeah,
first.
you had talked a lot in this one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
you
Talk.
do it.
Well, 4 bases, right?
Well, no,
No, one.
You just got
One. Oh, the top
So
one.
we have our collective top
Oh,
four.
I see. Oh, so I've got to make a decision here because I've got 4 listed. All right, the top one would be Fender Mustang bass, right?
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's for Stars guitar.
Yep.
So this
Tina
is attached to
Weymouth.
somebody.
Tina Weymouth
Yeah.
from the Talking Heads.
Yep.
Okay.
Her bass, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Because, and here's why. And I've never played. I've
Tell me why.
only played one, like just a little bit. And typically I would. I thought, well, it's like maybe it's too much like a toy or something. But I played one a few times and it felt really good. And I'm a little.
Mustangs don't really have like the greatest reputation. Like
No, and
Mustang guitars or basses.
Might want to get. Might want to do some different pickups, maybe, but
Yeah.
but I don't know. I want to give it a whirl, having never really played one a lot. But I've always wanted one because they're small, and I'm a little dude, and it's a little bit easier to move around on it.
But you have
Yeah.
a big heart.
Thank you very much. So yeah, and if I had to pick one, it'd be the '67. I don't think that's exactly the one she probably had a bunch of them. I don't know.
Like
That's-
so a vintage one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hers. Yeah, I get well it's Star guitar, so yeah. It's whatever her guitar
Yeah.
was. What color was hers?
She had a red one. She had
So
like
red-
a candy.
So candy red, white pickguard, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
White pickups. I'm
Black,
assuming.
I
pickups?
think.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of this
And
is
are
the one
they-
I know
is
the
that-
least about.
Are they in the same? So, I would assume that the Mustang bass would have them in the same sort of positions as the Mustang guitar, or is it like one pickup?
No, it's like they're stacked. They're next to each
P-based?
other.
Like
yeah,
P?
It's like a little bit like a P. Let me make sure.
Minister of Information's checking it out
I'm just gonna.
on his Star guitar.
Yeah, I just
So,
want to make sure.
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So were you a huge fan of this person as well, or is it just a recognizable guitar?
The Talking
for
Heads.
for
Well,
that-
so I became a fan much
Yeah,
later. Like
she's-
she's a real minimalist player, and like as I got older, like at first I wanted like a
Flashy.
I don't know
Carl
that I've ever
Thompson,
seen
Yeah,
one
right.
of those.
something like super like. But I like have a lot of appreciation for her playing style. It's just kind of
Well, it's kind of cool because it's an offset body with a P-bass style pickup setup,
oh
and it has that like Jazz or Jaguar plate
yeah,
Right.
for the controls.
Yep.
and it's
So it's kind of
short
like
scale.
taking all the things that and it's short scale, and it probably weighs a whole lot less. That's cool. Is it the big giant Fender headstock like on a P bass?
Yeah, it's a
The big scroll.
yep.
Cool, man. I dig it.
So is that your pick as well?
No, shh.
All right, let's go to a guitar so we
Yeah,
don't get
exactly.
let's not get heavy on the bass.
Why not?
Okay.
All right, I'll say the guitar. Gretsch.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
shocker.
Is that the same
know.
one that you picked?
No.
no. I would have never.
We all guessed you were going to pick
Oh, I know you.
Eddie
what you're
Van
gonna
Halen's
guess,
Frankenstein.
but
Right.
I mean, at the
Mine's
time,
probably a surprise too in that matter.
back in the day. Yeah, it was
Okay, so right now, what is it?
Eddie Van Halen guitar, but today it's more of I'm super intrigued by this guitar. I have been for a long time, just because it's like candy
It's like
on a
work-
guitar.
It's a work of art.
What's
Yes.
You mean the Gretsch, the modeling on a Gretsch?
Well, it's also synonymous with the musician as well.
Which
Are you going Mick
is
Ronson?
I thought you were going to guess.
Wait,
that's the whole.
he played a.
Brian Setzer.
Yes, there you go.
Oh,
Really?
what?
Yes.
Just for the record,
I had
Mick Ronson
no-
played a Gibson.
I had no idea that you were into Brian Setzer.
I didn't say I was like fascinated with Brian Setzer.
Oh, but just his
That's
guitar.
crazy.
I'm just saying I'm fascinated with that type
This
of
is
guitar.
a White Falcon.
Giant jazz,
Big giant
olive
White
body
Falcon.
Yeah.
guitar with all the candy.
Holy
bling on
moly.
it. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's
those,
your number one star guitar.
They are beautiful.
I mean, as a guitar and
In
it's
white, though,
synonymous
right?
With
Yeah.
a genre,
Like a
and
white
person.
Gretsch Falcon,
It's
or
a
an
very-
orange one.
His
What
has
color?
the dice on the.
I'm just fascinated
knobs.
when I would look at that thing and watch him play it. It's like
Yeah, it looks
It's-
like you shouldn't be able to play it that well, right?
crazy. Because if you ever play it, one of those things are hard to play. They're not super easy to play.
Yeah.
They're strung super tight, and like the stuff he does with it's pretty amazing. So Yeah, it's more of look at all that bling on there.
It feels that's the kind of guitar you look at and you go, that's gonna take a lot of work.
Yeah.
But conversely, so I almost went down that. I almost went down the same path, but for very different reasons. Because Billy Duffy is one of my all-time guitar heroes, and he plays. I mean, he's got his own signature Gretsch as well. And so, I mean,
Who doesn't?
He's
They're just
played
giving those things out anymore.
Yeah, well, and he's a kind of a smaller dude too, so it actually makes it look even cooler because it's like it's a giant guitar, and he plays a white one, and their whole stage setup is all black, so like that's cool too. But I didn't pick that. But I'll save mine so that we're gonna stagger it: bass, guitar, bass.
Yeah, it's funny because I mean it's. I consider Jay more of the bass person. My background is definitely in bass. So one of the on that bent, there's a lot of great guitars that I absolutely love, but I'm going to save that for some other time. Number one for me has got to be the Carl Thompson Les Claypool 6-string fretless rainbow bass.
Yep.
I don't know what it is about bass guitars that I feel, almost outside of the Gretsch, that basses are really more works of art than guitars are.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of perhaps blasphemous in some people's books, but
really,
No.
the wood choice.
Like,
and the
So
wood
that's
display.
interpretive because if you say it's a work of like the work of art, I know where you're going. But right off the bat, like someone could say, no, that's not even true at all because most basses are slab bodies. What about some like hollow bodies and stuff? But I think you're going to actual like not bling in the sense of a Gretsch bling,
right?
But bling in the sense of I'm going to use 16 different like rare woods
Inlays,
and make
yeah.
it
Yep.
insane.
Yeah, I mean
and carving and all that business.
Well, even with that bass is just that weird notch at the bottom for the bridge. I mean,
that's a string through too.
yes, there's so much character to this bass, and I
He's
just
a
remember
character.
seeing.
I mean, it would be weird if he was playing like a P bass or something. I mean, like,
Well,
right?
yeah,
I mean, I'm
it's-
sure he does.
He did
have
on
one, but-
Sausage for the
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
He used a jazz bass on that. He's a big fan of jazz basses. So it is kind of weird that he went from that to his own Carl Thompson. I just remember.
Gosh, that thing's got to be expensive. What's it like, $8,000, $10,000? It's got to be up there.
I could see it being $10,000 easily. I have no idea. I'm just making that up. But
So, do you like it because of the styling or because of who is playing it?
that's a good question. I discovered both Les Claypool Primus and henceforth the Carl Thompson bass all around the same time. I mean, I was pretty green behind the ears as a musician.
I don't think that's the term.
Wet. Oh yeah, you're right. It's wet behind his ears.
Red behind the ears and
green with envy.
But I think we should start that. We should start
We got 2 new words today.
I've been awake since 3:30 in the morning.
the ears.
So yeah, wet behind the ears. As a young musician, and it's like I'm discovering these oddities, just things that broke convention as I discovered them. It's
Well, the first time you heard, if you were a bass player, and the first time you heard Primus play something, when you were a kid, at least for me, it was like, holy crap, this is totally different than like anything else.
Yeah,
Even if you weren't a bass player.
Yeah, it was like, and you're like, then you watched a couple of videos, and you're like, what is that crazy?
Yeah.
And you couldn't get a good look at it because unless you VCR taped it.
Well, his
Right.
hands are all over the thing, so it's hard to even.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was really.
it's a vivid memory discovering Primus. I don't know. Do you guys want to hear it or
No, not right now.
Not right
we don't have time for that. But we will have time for it later because we'll get into
I really want to tell my
influences
story.
Yeah.
and what's driven us to where we are now. But we do want to hear that.
Okay,
at
I'll
some
table
point.
it for some other
But I
time.
think
Yeah.
to your point, though, the instrument needs to be representational of the artist too, right?
Exactly.
It goes hand
So
in hand.
yeah, when you see that, you think of him.
Duh, it's Primus. Yeah.
Duh. What are you, green behind the ears?
I hate
All
you.
right. So
I hate
okay,
you.
just for curious. So
Red
what did you guys think I was going to pick?
I don't know. You have so many genres of guitars that you like.
Another Telly or something, I guess.
I thought so. I was going to pick a very, very famous Telly from an absolute hero of mine, Joe Strummer.
But you don't like Tellys.
I've got two of them.
Dude, we've had this conversation.
I love
we?
Tellys.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Again, woke up at 3:30. I'm thinking Strats.
Right.
Okay, that's another segment on its own, which is what guitars do you hate? And I'll get into that later.
Top hated guitars.
Top hated. Yeah.
That's next week.
Top 4 guitars you hate. Okay, so this one, I mentioned I'm really into Brit rock. So I picked Noel Gallagher's Union Jack Epiphone Sheraton.
Interesting choice.
Totally iconic.
But you own one, don't you?
I own a Sheraton.
Yeah.
I don't own a Union Jack Sheraton.
Okay.
And I don't think I would, because it isn't it's like having a copy of an iconic guitar.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like,
I want that.
if you're paying like crazy money to own like a copy of a Van Halen Frankenstein, it's just a little weird.
Yeah.
But the reason that I picked that one, so first of all, just about the guitar, it wasn't a Sheraton the way that like the Sheraton 2 is. So it had a frequencator, what was called a frequencator tailpiece, which is kind of like an offset trapeze tailpiece. And like more common on heavy duty jazz instruments. So that was a little bit weird. And it wasn't like I guess it was more like a Riviera. So not like a Casino, but a Riviera. Yeah. So you had like a Riviera tailpiece on a Sheraton. It completely embodied and defined that moment in time in music, which was a very explosive one. Like, they owned the world and at that point in time, and they're selling out Wembley like 3-4 nights in a row, like 100,000, like just killing it. And that was the What's the Story Morning Glory tour, which is important because I remember exactly where I was the very first time I heard that song.
Can't tell that story.
But I won't tell that song story. That's another one. We'll get into that. So, anyways, it was really, that was a hard call, because I was like, it's got to be Joe Strummer's Telly, and I was like, no, it isn't, because this, like, if I was gonna hang one on my wall, I just, that's when I completely fell in love with an entire new type of music, and he didn't use it throughout the career. It was like that was a moment in time, and that's all it was. So for that reason, I picked that as my number one star guitar.
Dig it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Cool. I've never seen that. Never seen this guitar before.
Really?
Yeah. That
Do
might
you like
be
it?
That might be because I never
it's
went
like,
down that.
It's so ballsy.
That
it's
genre.
so ballsy. It's like,
deep.
I'm going to come out on stage. It would be the equivalent of, I guess, a country star from current time coming out with the Star Spangled one, which I think they do that all the time.
Yeah,
right.
The hee-haw.
Well, the hee-haw, the Buck Owens, like, you got to give it to him too for that.
Owens.
Yeah, Buck Owens is fantastic.
Hell yeah.
And that Telly, like, they remake that Telly. Actually, there's one down the street.
What?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Not Lev's, Liberty Pawn Shop.
Yeah.
They've got
Let's
a
go
Buck
tomorrow.
Owens Telly. We
are
need to
going
go down
tomorrow.
there. Yeah, all right. But for right now, we're going to kill this. Good nighty night.
Until next time.
Until we meet again.
Jeff, say something.
Bye, Knob.
Seriously,
I forget.
don't buy that amplitude. It's nonsense.
Oh, that's it for these knobs. Please join us on Facebook.com/groups/guitar knobs and tell us what you think and share your stories and guitar stuff along with ours. You can also find us at twitter.com/guitar_knobs and also at our website at guitarknobs.podbean.com.